Hey man, nice to have you. So before we
Hi,
start, if
Akash. Thank you so
hi,
much.
pleasure is mine to have you on the show. So if before starting the topic, if there is one word you can use to describe your journey so far, what would it be?
Okay, so that one word would I would say to describe my journey so far is zeal because as for me,
Zeal,
zeal is enthusiasm. Yeah, zeal.
right?
It is
Okay,
enthusiasm. It's passion, and it holds a lot of strength in itself because I feel ki zeal is something that it's itself it's a bit important and it has its own power and that
right.
I feel what I am right now, radiating my own self and for my journey it's like I'm Srijani, everyone, hello. I have
Hi,
done my bachelor's from University of Calcutta and presently in the Pune
right,
and presently in Pune. So, being from that traditional view thoughts of Calcutta University to the analytic mindsets of the Pune people, I feel the journey has been a journey has been with a lot of zeal and enthusiasm and lot of roller coaster rides. Um, I'm pursuing my PhD, and my major topic is central bank digital currency.
right.
Uh, But along with it, I was associated with an NGO named Bhumi for the last 3 years, and
What does it
it
do?
has given me it provides supplementary education to the kids,
Right,
to the underprivileged kids, specifically in the shelter homes and in the orphanages. And that has given me an insight to look into the vulnerability of the Indian society. And that has made me think about doing something for them, uh, coming up with the idea of pursuing my PhD
hmm,
and then going back to them for some betterment.
right. So digitization is your topic, right? Both in your
Yeah,
thesis and in the podcast you're going to cover today.
yeah, sure.
So, why did you come up with this topic? Can you tell the thought process? Like, why did you think it was relevant?
Digitization is definitely relevant after the digital India approach that
Hmm.
the government has announced in the year 2016 for bringing all the citizens of the country under the purveyance of this Aadhaar access
Hmm.
to take all the documents down and coming up with a universal accessible source. Uh, so that's how digitalization started in India to be more prominent, to be in a more prominent way.
Hmm.
And then there was this Beam UPI
Hmm.
that took up much after Google Pay and Phone Pay and Paytm. But now digitalization has gone in such an extent that we can't think about a minute without it. Rather, I would say WhatsApp, remotest part of India, YouTube, remotest part of India, access to digital payments, remotest part of India. Anywhere you go, you get to see all those things. It it
Right.
links us together in a such a better way, in a such better manner that I feel that this topic is something worth speaking of.
Basically, it is applicable to every citizen of the country as a law, as well as a convenience service. Right?
Yes.
Okay. In your own words, how would you what would you give as the definition of digitization?
Uh,
Not even
I,
definition. Like, how would you describe it? Like,
so, having a smartphone is what we call digitalization right now. Digitization. Uh,
right?
if you have a smartphone, and you have access to internet, you have everything, I feel.
Hmm.
It might, I won't have that prominent definition, I would say, but definitely digitization is something where you have the access to uh, to the to the international boundaries, like
Right.
what is happening in other countries, what is happening in other states, or
Globalization.
maybe what is globalization. So what is even
Right.
happening next to your n- just next village of yours or
Right.
next urban city of yours, you get to access. So that is accessibility and adoption for a better change.
So this digitized India, what is the policy relating to it?
Uh, in what sense?
In layman's term, if you want to explain to someone what is digitized India, how will you explain it to? How is it applicable? Why
Uh,
should they care?
why shouldn't they take it? That's the first question all about. Because I was traveling some days back, and it was the remotest part of the country, remotest part of West Bengal. And throughout the journey, my mother definitely was shouting at the back of me of not carrying cash. And I was like, I'm really sorry, I forgot. I really forgot. And then when I just stopped at that place, and I was just going to all the shops and exploring them, everyone, literally everyone was having access to that unique QR code of theirs where I could make the payment. And that's where I said, my mama, I'm not wrong. Like, I'm correct. Because see, even the vendor who doesn't even have a permanent shop, they have that digital uh, QR code for Google Pay payment. And see, they have done it so well. And that's where digitization of the currency is going.
And it is so damn convenient. First of all, carrying money, safety,
Yes.
carrying large cash of amount of cash that may not be safe, and transferring it. So if I want money from friend, I don't have to go to his house to get it. So that is certainly convenient.
Also, for topography of a country like India,
Hmm.
uh, you have the deserts, you have the mountains, you have the ocean, and it is not possible at times for banks to put up their branches in the remotest part of the country. Think, I want immediate transactions to be done the, uh, at an emergency, and I need to go to the bank because it also has a timing, right?
Right.
It closes by 4 p.m. What am I supposed to do? Uh, let that emergency go? Cannot, na? So now it's like we have it just at the tip of our hands, like just a click and you can transfer the amount.
If we look in the perspective of rural people, many people migrate towards cities so that they can work for their families, and at the end of the month they are required to transfer some amount to their family so that they can sustain themselves. So do you think that
Also,
yeah, it helps UPI?
definitely,
Right.
it does
Okay.
help.
What advancements in technology have happened that are relevant towards digitization?
Access to internet. I feel when this COVID lockdown situation was going through, I was not able to provide education to the kids of Nagaland. They used to stay in a certain place where access to internet was not possible anyway. They were not able to. use their mobile internet, because maximum of the time uh, there used to be difficulties in weather conditions, and they were not able to access. But then I think there was an initiative that came from the government that every area should have internet connectivity. Geo came into picture. It was such a great honor uh, to see those kids could continue the classes even after the lockdown, when we have left all hopes of going physically to some place, and then it was only what we could do with online mode. And that's how I feel that is a main and important criteria now: access to internet.
We take access to internet so much for granted. You know, the war in Ukraine, there is no internet there, right? So what Elon Musk had done was provide portable internet, and they're literally worshipping him as a god because so much things they're able to communicate and share.
Exactly. Even Kashmir uh, had the same situation,
Hmm.
and then things are better now. There is access to internet.
What political leaders do when they try to seize a country or an area, what they first thing they try to do is restrict the access to internet, right?
Yes, cut the internet so that you cannot communicate.
Right.
I would say internet has become a way of communication now.
Hmm. And do you think India is a new frontier of digitization?
I feel after China, India is one of the most growing nation where digitalization is taking a leap, and that's what
Why do you
data
say
says.
so?
Because that's what data says. The statistics say so. Now, after China, India is growing in the frontier of digitalization. Be it, as I mentioned already, be it the Aadhaar access, be it the QR code access, or be it communications. Also, I feel there are a lot of, though it's not my majors to talk about, but also I feel there are some access to agricultural policies that are linked with digitalization. Not much here, won't be commenting on the same, but yeah, there is something that is coming up.
Do you think emergence of Geo as a player has helped increase the accessibility of internet?
Yes, it did, because the time when Geo came up, they had this market strategy of providing free internet for like certain span of time, and it was like free SIM cards. That was their market strategy to compete with Airtel and Vodafone, the
Hmm.
other majors of the telecommunication industry, I would say. And they did capture the market very well, and I feel it is like uh, they have uh, they have given that a chance to explore what internet is to every citizen of the country. And now people can't think, I feel, probably, to stay a day without internet.
Right. Okay. So you're thinking towards coming up for a topic for your thesis. So was there a particular reason that you chose this topic?
So my topic is basically central bank digital currency. And
Right.
initially, when I was thinking for my PhD, I was talking about microcredits and financial inclusion. But then, when I was talking with my supervisor, when I was giving my interview for the same, so he just asked me, my previous studies for my bachelor's and master's were all related to macroeconomic and
Right.
was all related to macroeconomic phenomena like exchange rate volatility for international trade phenomena, and imports thing, and suddenly shifting to a development topic in the middle of nowhere, he was like, "Why? I mean, why are you doing this? Take up a topic, a macroeconomic topic,
Hmm.
emerging, which is quite emerging now." And he only suggested me the topic, central bank digital currency, because India had this uh, quite a lot of policies coming up with regards to cryptocurrencies. They were actually the session was about to be tabled in the winter session, which didn't anyway become any fruitful, like I would say, it didn't came up. We heard a lot about the things. We will be banning cryptocurrencies. We will bring up our own digital currency. But yeah, nothing such happened. Even for the April end, I was hearing a lot of controversies coming up with the India's own digital currency, which
Hmm.
didn't come up yet. And definitely, I'm also looking for the same. I need how Indian policymakers are thinking on the same frontier. I'm looking about
Yeah,
it.
man. Do you think
With
that
no success.
cryptocurrency should have a certain amount of regulation?
This is a huge topic to talk about because cryptocurrencies is something which is not regularized. It is deregularized system. Doesn't have an authority to put up the judicial regulations and everything. So when I talk about cryptocurrency, it is uh, it is decentralized, and uh, people people just have a bit of knowledge about it, the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
What is more deep and what is more thing to get concerned about is there are a lot of illegal activities that takes place uh, through the exchange of cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin. Human trafficking, terrorism, all the exchanges are potentially done with Bitcoin transactions because there is no one to regulate them. There is no judicial power to look upon them. So you can do anything. We don't know probably what is happening. Also, suppose there's a country A who doesn't have this minting opportunities. What they do, they collaborate with the country B and they uh, mint the cryptocurrencies
Right.
and then again come back and just they they transact for some purposes which may be not which is definitely not I would say legalized. So this type of transactions are also happening between the countries,
Hmm.
not I would say illegally. Illegal transactions are definitely happening for a lot of activities, but then between the nations also there are certain things that are going on because minting of cryptocurrencies definitely takes place in a place where there are uh, there is like a bit of it is mainly focused on the Arctic and the Antarctic region because it creates a lot of carbon footprint and the countries do exchange in quite an illegitimate way with each other.
In terms of investment opportunity, do you think for an average Joe it is a good idea to invest in cryptocurrency?
It is a volatile market, and definitely a risk lover person should invest subject to market criteria.
That is the most
I'm not
politically
optimistic
correct answer you could have given.
about yeah, because you need to study a lot the volatility, the markets, how it is going on. It's
And people
different. It's
don't
quite
know
different.
what their impact is going to be. It's not like stock that we have years of research on it,
Yeah,
what is
because
going to
we have
happen.
a SEBI to regulate.
Yes,
In
yes,
India, we have SEBI to regulate stock.
yes.
But we don't have anything to regulate cryptocurrencies, right? How can someone?
But like you
And
said, that it
it's
cannot be.
stock.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
go ahead,
stock
man.
is something that is coming up for like since the time of independence, I would say. And cryptocurrency is something that started in the year 2008, got its dominance from the year 2010. So yeah, definitely a new topic to explore. Not much data.
So when you said that it cannot be traced, so isn't it safer than have a government agency poking around what your transactions are? What is your
So
opinion on
that's
that?
why major economics are coming up with their own central bank digital currencies. Already Bahamas, the Nigeria, the Caribbean belt have implemented their own digital currencies, and countries like Sweden, e-krona, they are coming up with e-krona. China and USA is on the research phase for implementing their own digital currency, and definitely India is also planning on the same foot since as the world's largest democratic nation to move with hands in hand with the international frontiers, with the international exchanges, we definitely need our own digital currency, and it's much safer. If you would ask me, it's much safer. Uh,
The
yeah.
thing with Paytm is that if you like buy something with Paytm, you also have to pay the tax, right? So it is already paid. But with crypto, it is not traced. So is it a means that you can use to avoid payment of tax or showing certain transactions?
No, not possibly, because for cryptocurrency, the track ID comes with since it is backed by the blockchain technology uh, that is actually distributed ledger technology. You have your unique IDs, you have your unique codes that creates a hash, and that's how, like, if you transact something to me, we will create our own hash. If I transact something to someone, it will create your hash, my hash, and then the other hash. So a lot of technological uh, emergence is there behind, which
Footprint,
probably not a footprint, I would say, technological pathway,
right?
which definitely computer science engineer can give an insight about. I'm not the correct person to say anything regarding. I only know those two words. It's backed by the blockchain technology, and that is like digital ledger technology.
So
But then
this, yeah,
it can be traced, and that's why I feel India has given that policy of taxable cryptocurrencies in this budget.
okay,
Cryptocurrencies now taxed.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So this concept of UPI, could you elaborate it further? Because it is such a relevant concept and confuses a lot of people.
UPI, to be in layman's terms, is nothing much serious. It is like you have your bank account, you have a platform, you connect your bank account to that platform that will help you to access that bank account you have in your own way, like anytime and anything. That is what it is based on. UPI is something where you can just I don't know the technology that it is based on, but you that is that one thing that it connects to your bank account and it gives you the access uh, to to your uh, to your deposits and everything that you have in your own way. So even all the banks in India have their own applications that we can probably use, isn't it? It is based on something on that platform, but it has brought the umbrella of the banks under itself so that everyone can access.
Does the central bank RBI take any steps to regulate UPI?
No, it is already regulating the commercial banks, and the commercial
Right.
banks are already regulating their customers.
Hmm. So
So
who
it is
regulates
anyway,
UPI?
it is the
Connected to the
commercial
commercial
banks
banks,
and
right?
commercial banks, yes.
Right.
So even
Okay.
WhatsApp has created their own UPI. Now we can pay through WhatsApp even.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Does
So
the platform get any cut or profit from giving it means for payment like Paytm or WhatsApp?
I don't know. Paytm has something, I know. Uh, Paytm has after 10 transactions you can't continue with Paytm. You can't do more transaction. But of that Google Pay and Phone Pay, I'm not much aware.
Right.
What is their profit transactions? I'm not much aware.
So, being in academics, what is the most important lesson you have learned?
Uh, Being in academics, I would say the most important lessons I've learned is that nothing is this, nothing is planned in the way you plan it. It always happens as it is destined to be. To be honest, I can frankly say today that I never had this intention of coming for research. I always wanted to be working for an MNC, uh, giving meetings in front of the boards and doing a lot of other analytics work. But I don't know. I feel probably when I was graduating my masters, and there was this all these companies that were coming for the interviews and for campusing and all. I didn't appear in any one of them. I was simply relaxing. I was simply sitting back at home, studying and completing my dissertation for my masters. And just happened. It just happened.
Right.
So being in academics, I can just say nothing is destined. Like nothing is planned. It's all destined.
Do you have any tips for people who want to go into research and pursue PhD?
Sure. Research you can start anytime. You just need to have that feeling that I want to probe deep into that particular area. That's what is more important. So even for my class, there are people who are ex-army officers have joined PhD because they want to probe deep into the subject. There are industrialists, industrial people, those who have such immense knowledge about the product, about the industry. They come at the end of the day to the class. They learn from us the things they don't know. We learn from them the things we need to know from them. They help us. We help us. It's a symbiotic relationship, and it's so great to see. There is no age limit for doing a PhD. But what I would say, or what I would want to in this field of uh, in this field of academics is that the government should focus a bit more into it, provide a bit more scholarships and opportunities so that people don't go abroad because we have institutes like IIT, IIM who provides Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, who has Indian Statistical Institutes. They have this masterpieces and the mastermind who can just change the world. But then there is brain drain that's happening, and we are accepting it. People are going abroad because they're not getting opportunities inside the country. So government should look into it a bit more leniently
How much
so that it
compensation
becomes.
or subsidy is a PhD scholar given for
So
the research?
we don't call it compensation, nor we call it subsidy, but we call it fellowship.
Right.
It is pretty different. It is quite good enough for sustaining.
Okay. Right. So, like, if a person wants to get into PhD, what are the cost benefit analysis that they have to do? Like, would a job pay more if they're not from a well to do background, if they want some sustainability? So, should they go into job or should they continue studying? Would the benefits be more if after completing their PhD, they get more return on their investment. What is your experience?
Okay, yes, I would say. Uh, After completing my bachelor's, I joined an MNC and I wanted to be there, to be honest. After 8 to 9 months, I feel one day I came back home and I was just trying to self reflect on what am I doing? Because whatever I had in my studies, whatever I have learned, nothing is there. Where is my studies going? I was so damn frustrated because uh, from I have my bachelor's of science and I have taken bachelor of science because uh, I wanted to pursue mathematics and I wanted to opt for statistics and combining computer science. The world is going at the back of analytics. So I wanted to do something like that. But when I was at the MNC, it's totally product based. And whatever the requirements of the company is, you need to fulfill that. And I felt like I'm not made to do that. I'm not doing it. So while having a conversation with my parents, they were like, you can do whatever you want, but just think about what you actually want to do. I quit it immediately and I started searching for universities for my master's. Yes, definitely, I would say if you because there are two major exams uh, that you need to pass through to get into
Right.
PhD, either state level or national level. And for the engineers, it is they have certain requirements. I totally agree on the fact that being from a if you are having financial crisis in your family and you have the dreams of doing a PhD, it becomes a bit difficult because, as I said, the fellowship amount is uh, just that small for sustaining. It is not something which is grand. And if you really need to support your family, you need to be stable, you need to do a job. So that is the opportunity cost, I would say. But nowadays, there is a provision for doing part-time PhD. If you really want that, I have seen so many people doing part-time PhDs, and you can actually now. Nowadays, you can. Maybe you won't get that fellowship amount that we get, but at the end of the day, it's research. You are probing deep into the subject. You are getting a knowledge of what you wanted to know. So get it done.
Getting a PhD attached to your name, is it worth it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is
So,
because at the end of the day,
yeah,
when we are trained, we are said that there is no timing. It can be in the middle of the night that an idea just tricks your mind. You just need to get up and write that down and or do whatever you need to do. Like I need to write it down. So it just came that way. I have fellows from Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta, IIT Roorkee, IIT Delhi, probably from all over India. I have seen them. I am just a newbie, I just entered the zone. But I have seen them getting up late at night, and it's like, yeah, sudden thoughts came. So we need to execute it right now. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe it will disappear or something like
right.
that. It's worth it. After 5 years, when you get that satisfaction,
Hmm.
it is worth it.
I hope someone listening to it gets the motivation to pursue it.
Hopefully.
Srijani, it was very informative talking to you. I'll pause the recording
So much.
just to